Hey guys, Eric here, and in today's guest video, we'll be taking a look at the new 52 Wonder Woman quarter scale by Prime One and collaborated with Sideshow Collectibles. All right, so taking a quick look at the art box, it's the standard new 52 line art box. It's very plain and simple, nothing spectacular. It's just black and white, and you get the Wonder Woman name and logo on it. As with all Prime One statues, you do get assembly instructions. It shows you how to put it together and where all the pieces go back in the box, so that's always greatly appreciated. First up, as always, we have the base, so let's see what we got. Okay, so the base does have a nice weight to it. It's very heavy. This is the exclusive version. It is number 15 out of only 200 made. Up next, we have the pillar, which keys into the base. Okay, so looking at the pillar, it's circular, but it does have a cut in it, so it lines up flush against the square column here. Okay, fits in nice. Up next, we have Wonder Woman's body. The body itself isn't too heavy. It's a decent weight. Okay, everything sits flush, looks good. Up next, we have her sword. Again, fits in nicely. Okay, next we have her holding the shield. Sorry, I'm doing this backwards and I can't see. I'm gonna have to turn it to me. Okay. So far looking good. And then finally, we have the lasso and the portrait. Let's get the portrait. Okay, and finally the lasso. Which is a mixed media. It's just regular rope. There's no magnet or anything. It just pushes into a hole on her waist here. All right, we'll fix that later. If you do order the exclusive version, you do get an additional portrait. It's an angry looking face, as well as you could swap out the two arms for her holding two axes instead of holding a shield and a sword. All right, let's get the camera and get some up close shots and see how she looks up close. Taking a look at the base, you have the same circular design as the rest of the new 52 line with the Wonder Woman logos and the rubble, and the ground is being destroyed by Darkseid's Omega beams. On top of that is Wonder Woman's theme with the Roman pillars. The gray rocks look good, all broken up, and Prime One actually did something a little different this time, and they put sand in between the cracks. It's a real grainy type sand substance glued onto areas of the base. To me, it looks like real sand. Going up to the Roman pillars, you have artwork embossed onto the pillars. There's sculpts of people in robes as well as horses, and there's actually a naked guy wearing only a cape. I'm not sure who that's supposed to be, but it looks pretty awesome. The pillars have a marbled look, which they did an excellent job with the paint, making it look realistic. Really nice details in the architecture of the pillars, and they also added in certain areas the sand again to give it a more realistic textured look. There's also vines growing up and around the base and breakage and cracks, giving it an even more aged look. Going up to Wonder Woman, it's the new 52 costume where she has blue and silver instead of red and gold. The blue boots have a nice sculpt to them. Not sure if the camera's picking it up, but they do have a slight texture to them with wrinkles, and there are different variations of shading in the paint, which looks really nice in person. Same with the blue in her underwear / shorts. Her red armored top looks good. There's line indentations running throughout it, giving it a nice detailed look. As with the rest of the new 52 line, the red and blues have a little bit of a sheen to them, giving it a metallic look. It especially looks good in the red paint, making it look more rugged and like armor. It's finished off with the silver trim on the breastplate and waist, adding to the metallic look, as well as you have silver embossed stars. Continuing with the silver metallic armor, she has Wonder Woman logo armbands and a neck choker and her classic gauntlets and tiara. She has some battle damage on the gauntlets sculpted in, giving the appearance she's been through battle. Also battle damaged is her sword, which happens to be metal. Her shield is also made out of metal and again has some battle damage to it. Her shield and sword can be swapped out for battle axes if you purchase the exclusive version of the statue. The exclusive, by the way, was limited to only 200 made. Collector's edition without the axes and angry portrait was limited to only 300. That's 500 total for the edition size, and it's extremely super low. One nitpick of the silver armor might be that it's very simple looking. I think they could have gotten away with adding a little more shading. Maybe not. I'm not a pro painter, but the rest of the statue has some really nice paint to it, from the details in the base to the blues and reds in her costume. Taking a look at the face and skin throughout her body, it's translucent resin, something Prime 1 uses a lot with their statues to better capture detail. The downside is that it does have a plasticky appearance similar to maybe a Hot Toys figure. So it's something people either hate or love. Personally, I hated it at first, but it's grown on me over the years and now I don't mind it as much. There's not much shading or different variations of paint colors in the skin tones. I think with translucent resin, Prime 1 relies on natural lighting to add highlights and shadows. The material has a slight transparency to it, so lighting is very important when displaying this material, which is also why it looks terrible at times when trying to photograph or capture it on camera. I find soft white light looks best compared to cool white. The yellow from the soft white helps enhance the skin tones a little bit. But the sculpt of the body is great. The camera might not capture it too well as the lines are subtle, but there's nice musculature and curves going on, giving her a nice feminine look. And finally, her hair looks a lot better in person. As with most statues, everything looks better in person compared to the photos. There's a nice flow and plenty of details within the hair strands. All right, so just a quick rundown. The pros being the paint and details in the base and in the costume. The sculpt is great throughout the entire statue. A major selling point for me would be the theme. I love the Roman architecture and the concept design. I believe it was inspired by David Finch's Wonder Woman issue number 36. It happens to be one of my favorite Wonder Woman art covers. And negatives would be, I'd like to see maybe a little more shading in the silver metallic areas if possible. The translucent resin is personal preference, so that's something to take into consideration. You're either going to hate it or you love it. One more thing I forgot to mention was the lasso. I think they should have went sculpted with the lasso, similar to maybe the OG premium format Wonder Woman by Sideshow. On this, it's a flimsy piece of rope, and it kind of distracts from the rest of the statue. So overall, I'm happy with her. I was a little worried looking at pictures online, but in person, she looks fantastic, and I'm happy to add it to my collection. I am collecting the entire Justice League New 52 line, and there's just one more to go, and that's Batman. He should be here in a few more months. Batman is my favorite character. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to that one a lot. It's been a long wait, and I can't wait till he comes in. That concludes this video, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.